It's time for us to go beyond the cop and rank every Liverpool and Arsenal double agent from worst to best based on their Liverpool career. And if you wouldn't mind, please click like and subscribe. Number 8, Alex Manager. If this was based on careers at Arsenal, then Alex Manager would probably be towards the top, a feeling Arsenal fans are not used to, I've been told. But since this is based on the time the player spent at Liverpool, Manager can't go any higher, with the then 39-year-old signing in July of 2016 in an effort to keep himself air quotes match fit, because yeah, I'm sure there was a long line of suitors looking for the signature of a goalkeeper who would pass around Europe more than a mail order bride. He didn't make a single appearance and retired almost 1 year later in May 2017, yet it still feels like he contributed more than several players who will flash up on screen now, because saying their names is a good way to develop a growth on the brain. Number 7, Nicolas Anelka. Now, one of the players who got away, and when he got away, we were left with him. So Nicolas Anelka, Premier League whore himself, joined Liverpool on loan in December 2001 until the end of the season, and it's that reason alone which is seeing him ranked 7th on this list. He was class during his short stint, scoring 5 goals and picking up 2 assists in 22 matches. Not bad at all, and honestly, had Houllier taken the option to sign him, he would have become a mainstay attacker in Liverpool's team for a good number of years, but for one reason or another, the deal never materialised, and despite being one of the most sought after strikers in Europe at the time, he was sent back to PSG while we went and signed Joe off. Number 6, Jermaine Pennant. It's my list, it's my opinion, it's my channel. It's my life. So I made the decision to put Pennant 6th on this list and above Nicolas Anelka, quite simply because he was at the Reds for longer. It's hard to judge loan signings who have been at the club for 6 months, while Pennant was with us for 3 years. So we've got a track record to base his time at the Reds off, and the overall assessment is meh. I mean, look, he played more minutes than any other player during the 05-06 season, registered 17 assists during his 81 matches, and became the first ever English player to play in a Champions League final without ever receiving a cap for the senior international side. But he just didn't live up to his potential. Only got 3 goals during those 81 matches, and he was just never proving to be a mainstay in the Liverpool side, with his personality and Balotelli-level antics both on and off the pitch, proving to be the straw that broke the Benitez's back, with him being surplus to requirements in 2009 before his contract expired. He only made 26 appearances for Arsenal in 6 seasons, also just FYI. Number 5, Kolo Touré. There was something very endearing about Kolo. Maybe it's his infectious smile, maybe it was his desire to fight for his place at Liverpool. I'm just not sure, to be honest. Oh no, wait, I know. It was that match against Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. Sweet zombie Jesus, he played like prime Ronaldinho, just without the jail sentence. In all seriousness, Kolo was signed at the age of 32 on a free transfer following his departure from Man City, with Brendan hoping he'd be able to replace the experience lost after Jamie Carragher retired the summer before. Also, because our senior members of the backline consisted of injury-prone Daniel Agger, erratic Martin Skrtel, second fiddle Sebastian Coates, severely injured Martin Kelly, and Andre Wisdom, nothing else to say there, he was just a backup centre-back, and the mistake against West Brom saw him drop to the bench for the second half of the 2013-14 season, starting just 2 more matches after it. And yeah, he had a good run in the Europa League under Jurgen Klopp, but he was never going to set the world on fire like he did at Arsenal, being the age he was and because of his position in the Reds pecking order. But at least his song was I loved his song. I thought his song was class. Number 4, Michael Thomas. To a certain generation, Michael Thomas is the devil, scoring Arsenal's winning goal at Anfield in 1989 to give the Gunners the league title. Shame you don't have him playing for you now, Arsenal fans. Nice Tifu, by the way. I remember when I first started using Microsoft Paint. However, in terms of footballers who redeemed themselves, Michael Thomas is definitely up there, starting off his Liverpool career in 1991 before the birth of the Premier League as a starter in the Reds midfield, scoring 5 goals in his debut season and gaining the trust of the supporters quick as a flash. However, following an injury in January of 93, which saw him snap his Achilles tendon and missing a year and a half as a result, he returned in the role of rotation squad player, and honestly, the role seemed to suit him. He was an ever-present and reliable deputy for when Jamie Redknapp and John Barnes were out of the squad, and he was sort of the James Milner of his generation, capable of playing right-back, centre-back and midfield, and he was someone who was great in box-to-box scenarios, and his ability to play the holding role in the Roy Evans allowed John Barnes to venture forward and influence the matches as he saw fit, a truly underrated gem in Liverpool's midfield during the 90s. Number 3, Raheem Sterling. Yes, I know, he should be lower because he decided to f us off for the shiny new toy in the form of Man City, probably shiny from the glow of the rule books they're burning to sign all these expensive players. But during his time at Liverpool, Sterling was an exciting and talented young winger who at some stages carried the team, particularly during the 2014-15 season following the departure of Luis Suarez, when we realised we had the trio of attackers who couldn't score in a brothel. He was quick, possessed great positioning, and genuinely was worth the near £50 million City paid for him. During the 2013-14 season, alongside the SAS, Coutinho and Gerrard, he was integral to our title-pushing side, scoring against the likes of Arsenal, Tottenham, Man City, and possessing terrific speed and dribbling. He could have perhaps done more from a pressing standpoint and was certainly not the finished article, but honestly at Arsenal right now he's the finished article, but just not in a good way. Yeah, the air quotes break he had at the midpoint of the 14-15 season, the interview with the BBC, which wasn't sanctioned at the time, and the way he moved to Man City should put him lower, and maybe it's the fact that I didn't see Michael Thomas play, which is seeing him in 4th instead of 3rd, but Sterling was talented and it was sad to see him leave. Still a though. Number 2, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Controversial? Maybe. There isn't anything else to that sentence, I'm sorry. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was signed in the summer of 2017, and people were happy and confused and excited and also curious because he wasn't someone we'd considered as a potential signing, but my God, he was the perfect fit for the early days of Klopp's reign. Talk about energy and ability. Ox had both. He would press relentlessly during matches, and when he did win the ball back, he'd either run through players or pick out a perfect shot into the top corner. The goals against Man City in both the League and the Champions League, the top corner screamer against Arsenal in the League Cup in 2019, and my good God, the second he scored against Genk in that season's Champions League was so good it probably got someone pregnant. In a different timeline, the injury against Roma didn't happen, and Ox was able to keep his place in the Reds starting midfield instead of having to miss a whole year and fighting for starting spots with fellow medical room inhabitant Naby Keita. The moments he shined, his glow was bigger than most, and while he did decline fairly quickly, making his departure in 2022 inevitable, he still provided us with many memories and moments which saw his true quality on display. Number 1, Yossi Benayoun. I love Yossi Benayoun, and while some people will disagree with his spot on this list, there are a few things to consider. First off, you're wrong, and second, people seem to forget just how good of a player the Israeli was for the Reds during the Rafa Benitez era. He joined in 2007 and was regarded at the time as an impact player, featuring in 47 of Liverpool's 59 matches during his first season, being used as a substitute 21 times in the process, and yet he still scored 11 goals, and despite being used as a second striker, he went on to become an important member of the Liverpool squad. He had the knack for positioning, always ready to pounce on loose balls and rebounds. Just look at this goal as a proof of that. And he was a relentless presser of the ball. He was capable of finishing at a moment's notice. He scored hat-tricks against Besiktas, Burnley and Hampton Waterloo, becoming the one English-based player at the time to score a hat-trick in the Premier League, FA Cup and Champions League. He also scored a brace against Arsenal in the 4-4 draw, a terrific first goal of his Reds career against Reading, and during his 134 appearances, he found the net 29 times while also recording 20 assists. Considering the fact he started off as a rotation option, that's terrific, and I think he's one of the most underrated players in Liverpool's Premier League history. It's a shame about his departure due to his fractured relationship with Rafa, but it was great while we had him.